Fast Casual Executive Summit in Louisville, Kentucky, home of whiskey, bourbon, and rye and everything else. It's the Hospitality Hangout, featuring the restaurant guy and the finance guy. Jimmy, take it away.
Yes, I'd like to thank everyone for joining us for this special edition of the Hospitality Hangout, a hospitality-focused podcast where the founders at Branded share their insight and bring technology and innovation leaders that are making things happen in the industry we love. My name is Jimmy Frischling, otherwise known as the finance guy, and now I will formally introduce my partner, Mr. Michael Schatzberg, also known as the restaurant guy.
And thanks for that introduction, Jimmy. And to those listening, feel free to call me Shatsy. Together, we are the personalities behind Branded Hospitality Ventures. We work at the intersection of hospitality, technology, innovation, capital, and, of course, delicious restaurants. And let me tell you, we've got a great episode, Jimmy. Jimmy, I got to tell you, I'm missing you again. I'm in Louisville, Kentucky. Jimmy, nobody loves bourbon more than you. You are the king of bourbon.
Kentucky water. I'm missing
Kentucky water. I cannot believe you're not here. Last night, we went on a bourbon tour. I was drinking brown spirits all day, all night. They put it in their cereal, Jimmy. They drink it at lunch. It's not iced tea.
Put it on pancakes.
It's not iced tea, Jimmy. You think it's iced tea because it's not. They're drinking bourbon. It's not iced tea, man. At lunch, it's great.
They still use it to help put babies to bed. Little bourbon on the lips.
I got to tell you, it is great being here in Louis, and we ate some crazy hot browns yesterday. And we got some good food, good booze. We got a great show, Jimmy. I got to tell you, let's kick it off with our first guest, Mr. Troy Hooper, CEO of Hot Palate America. And you're going to say, what is Hot Palate America? Well, guess what, everybody? We're going to find out real soon. Troy, tell us a little about yourself, man.
Awesome to be here, guys. Thanks, Shatsy. Thanks, Jimmy. Great to see you guys again, as always.
Great voice. Jimmy, listen to that voice.
Smooth, silky smooth.
Smooth, like, is that Sinatra? Or is it Troy Hooper?
This is the closest I'm going to get to being on a real New York-style radio show. I love it.
Oh, boy. Yes.
Listen, Troy, we got a lot to get into. Before we dive in, we'd like to find out how our guests came to their position. So take us back. Let's go to 1994. Florida International University, FIU. He's a man of many languages, many countries. It's 94. He's in Florida, and he's saying to himself, should I be a professional golfer or should I go into the restaurant business? What happened to golf? Did you hurt your arm? Was it the putting? What was it that got you into the restaurant? Tell us everything.
I never played golf. I'm not in the golf game whatsoever, even though
Is that breaking news?
Even though I've run golf courses and golf clubs before.
We knew there was something about golf in your history.
Reluctantly on the green. No, I went to FIU, their business school there. After going to culinary school, came up through an entrepreneurial family, grew up on the construction side of restaurants, bars, and nightclubs in Miami. My dad had a couple of construction companies, and I literally grew up building restaurants, bars, and nightclubs, and it just was in my blood from day one. Dad loved to throw a good party. I love to do the catering piece of it, and the rest is history. I've been in hospitality for the majority of 31 years.
Wow. I got to tell you, I like that. Shats, I never know where you're really going when you do the intros. I don't know if you're going to get the years right. I watch our guests to see if you're close. You went with playing golf, whereas
Jimmy, I don't know where I'm going.
Troy,
you know that, right?
Yes, our friend Troy actually helped, run the F&B facility of golf. I was like, I have no idea where he's going.
If you go to Florida, any university of Florida, you got to be a professional golfer.
Yes, I was watching Troy, and I'm like, all right, he might be close, and I'm like, nope, he's way off. All right, listen, but I love your banter, Shats.
Playing golf,
yes.
Come on.
Building restaurant play, same two sides of a completely different coin. Yes. All right, listen, I love that I get to do, I believe, some breaking news, at least for the podcast. After 10 weeks of offering a new franchise partnership, I understand, Troy, and congratulations are in order. You just signed a 10-unit deal in Arizona. This marks the first multi-unit agreement in the U.S. in the new era of franchising for Pepper Lunch. I say that with enthusiasm. What can you tell us, Troy?
Yeah, super excited. I came on to Pepper Lunch in February, both my company, Kiwi Restaurant Partners, as the outsourced infrastructure developer and manager of the franchise business. And I'm on the brand side. So we wear two hats, and the team collectively covers both sides of the business. So I'm the CEO of the brand, the holding company in North America, the co-CEO globally of the brand. And, we're doing amazing things internally, building out the systems and processes, modernizing the brand globally. But at the same time, we have to grow. And so we've been aggressively seeking these high value partnerships that are specifically multi-unit operators with multi-unit and multi-brand experience. And, we've had the good fortune of attracting the right kind of partners. And so Arizona is the first one to fall. We've got 10 stores in 5 years. And, unlike some traditional concepts in franchising, we're pretty aggressive. We actually require all of our fees up front. So when we say we've sold 10 stores, those are committed. Those are paid for. Those are on a schedule, and they're going to open. As a matter of fact, our folks in Arizona are so excited. I was there yesterday. I'm actually late showing up. I didn't get to do this bourbon or this food tour tasting with Rev or anybody because I literally just got off a plane late last night. I was in Phoenix all day yesterday, celebrating with those guys, getting them onboarded, taking a tour of the city, seeing where we're going to start building stores. These guys are going to put 3 stores up in less than 2 years, most likely. So they're getting off the ground hot. And I thank you for breaking the news. This is breaking news. We just started
breaking news, baby.
Late yesterday. Breaking news. So let me just ask you before we jump on. So Hot Palate. Tell me the Hot Palate. Give me Hot Palate and it's Pepper Lunch. Give me the difference. And you got kiwi. What's kiwi? You got Hot Palate. We got pepper.
We don't want to confuse
a lot of
the
vegetables.
world.
There's a lot of things, spices, a lot of things going on here. Let's get it all clear. Let's clear
Don't
the
make
air.
me laugh, Chef.
Jimmy is confused right now. Jimmy doesn't know what's going on. Look at him.
Jimmy understands this. He's the money guy, right? This is the difference.
I understand
the finance guy understands. We have a holding company. Hot Palate America is the holding company in North America. Pepper Lunch is its first acquisition and brand it under the umbrella of Hot Palate. It will not be the last. That's why we have
in America
that structure.
But Pepper Lunch is not. But where's Pepper Lunch?
Yeah, so Pepper Lunch is in 15 countries.
Yeah, how many stores?
513 stores. As
Jimmy,
of
did you hear
1st.
that?
513 stores.
1,000 stores.
513. Yes, 513. You heard it correctly.
We're building 5 a month. We're opening 5 a month on our typical cadence is 5 a month. And that's mostly in Asia. We're in every Asian nation except for Mongolia, and we're going there, including
Mongolia is a huge market for lunch.
It's an emerging
lunch
market.
In Mongolia.
It's coming. It's got some cities, actually, believe it or not.
Yeah. It's coming, baby.
But we're also...
this is a brand. Where was it based?
Yeah, Tokyo. Founded in Tokyo in 1994.
So if I'm in Tokyo, Pepper Lunch is...
200 of them.
Everyone knows
Second
Pepper
largest
Lunch.
Brand in Japan.
It's like McDonald's.
It's bigger than McDonald's.
Bigger than McDonald's, Jimmy. So there you go. Jimmy. So now Troy is bringing that brand to America.
Yeah, so we did a proof of concept. We had one franchisee open 5 stores across 3 states. He did that in under 3 years, about 5.5 years ago. So we have 5.5 to about 4 years of experience in 3 states. We're also in Guam. We're opening a second store in Guam. We're also in Vancouver, Canada. As far as Western markets, we also have 11 stores in Australia. So, the other interesting thing about this is we own 24% of our stores. We own 126 of our own corporate stores in 3 countries. So, a well-established brand of 30 years on a constant growth trajectory, really saw an opportunity in the United States, hadn't really figured out how to get it off the ground. They called Kiwi. That's my consulting practice. They called Kiwi Restaurant Partners. Myself and Mark and our team at Kiwi were asked to help develop the franchise business, bring all of our friends and resources and tools, just like Branded does, right? If I asked you for help, you have a plethora of companies that you know what they do well and who's best in class. And so we brought that group to the table, started building the internal business for them here in the United States late last year, early this year. And in February, they asked me if I would come on board in the executive suite and help lead the company here in North America and help also export what we're doing and what we know and what we're learning about here in the U.S. for the brand externally to the rest of the world. So to help really upskill and modernize the brand as a 30-year-old brand, certainly there's always an opportunity to bring fresh.
Can you share color for our listeners? What kind of contract did you get as the CEO? Can we talk? How much are they paying you?
So 3-year contract.
Yeah, Jimmy, we're getting into it now.
With
Jimmy,
a 1-year. Yeah, but here's the fun part. 1-year honeymoon period. So you need to ask me at the stroke of midnight on New Year's, this coming New Year's, whether I'm still doing this or not.
Write that down, Chats. And
mark your calendar.
I'm marking the
Text
calendar.
Troy
Listen,
after the ball
text Troy
falls
after
from
the ball
Times
falls.
Square. Do you still have a job?
Yes,
All right.
Troy. Listen,
All right.
I am the finance guy, and while I'm not down at fast casual, I drew the short straw. Shatsy got that one. I do know you'll be doing a session later today on the smart stack, and again, getting into the weeds. Your marketing programs, your menu innovation, how to run your books. It's all about efficiencies, and I love that you created the financial smart stack to keep operations running in the back of house. As I like to tell our listeners, I'm not a golfer, but I understand the sport. Okay, I didn't go to Florida, so Shats never accuses me of being a golfer.
Jimmy, I
But
play, but you're awful.
you drive for show and you putt for dough. Back of house is where it's all at. What can you tell our listeners about the financial smart stack, and that keeps operators focused on the back of house and also on the front of house? What can you share?
Well, I hope everybody's in session and not listening, because I'm just going to give it to you the same as I'm going to give it on stage.
We are the
Just a
only
little
three
while.
people listening.
No, I think Zach's in there with it in his earbud.
Hey everybody, Shatsy the Restaurant Guy here, and I want to talk to you about point of sale systems. Touch Bistro, it's the all-in-one point of sale and restaurant management system. That's right, it's an entire restaurant management system that makes restaurants easier to run. It makes it easier. It basically runs by itself. You use Touch Bistro and basically the restaurant runs by itself. It provides the most essential front of house and back of house and guest engagement solutions on one super duper powerful platform. Touch Bistro helps restaurateurs streamline and simplify their operations, allowing them to spend less time manually connecting the dots and more time connecting with guests and growing their business. That's right. You will grow your business 50 to 60 to 70, maybe even double by using Touch Bistro. And that's a fact. That's a fact. It's built to meet the unique needs of the restaurant industry. Touch Bistro, it's fast, it's reliable, super easy to use, and it has all the features that restaurateurs need to increase sales and deliver a great guest experience, and you save both time and money. So listen, go visit touchbistro.com and learn more right now. That's touchbistro.com, and you will find the greatest point of sale experience you've ever had. Or you can email me at podcast@brandonstrategic.com, and I will personally connect you. I will fly with you to their headquarters. I think they're in Canada. I will fly with you to Canada and introduce you to the entire Touch Bistro team, because that's what they like. That's how we do it. touchbistro.com.
Hi, Zach Oates.
There we go.
Listen, what I'm going to say is, everybody in the world can give you a list of companies to work with. Branded has a tremendous list of technology partners, right? It's less about the logos. It's more about the implementation. Did you get the stakeholders that have to use and hopefully will benefit from whatever software, whatever partnership you sign? Did you get them involved in the early stages? Are your employees on board? Is your leadership on board? Do they understand why you're bringing this technology or process into play? Why does this SOP matter? Who helped design it? Who put it together? And then implementation. So it really starts with the demos and the consideration phase and the sales phase of, hey, I think there's a tool out there that will help us be more efficient, improve our operations, save us time, save us money, make your job easier. Doesn't that sound great? I need you to help me pick the right solution. So get stakeholders involved very early. More importantly, or even as importantly, and one of the areas we see the biggest failure is in implementation. You have to think through implementation. Most people are using less than 10% of the software to its capability. Most features aren't being implemented. Most things are being kind of used for a week or 2 weeks or 2 months and then kind of being forgotten.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so it's like onboarding, right? It's like you spend all that time trying to find the right candidate, getting your team involved in the interview process, and then you hire them and you kind of like, all right, follow Shatsy around for a week, right?
That would be a terrible idea. It's the last thing that you would want to do. But yes. What not to do, hire and follow Shatsy.
I can throw a swing every now and then too. So there you go.
I appreciate it.
But
Troy, actually, go ahead.
It's implementation. And then it's really about systems. You have to systematize whatever that new process, new technology is, et cetera. So, we've been a partner of Restaurant 365 for, I think, 14 years or so now. Basically, I think within their first 2 or 3 years, we became partners with Restaurant 365, and they've only gotten bigger and better and more valuable to the restaurant industry, bringing us more tools. So we sort of start with what is the right operating system, POS, for this brand at this time, at this scale. And then we bring in the partners that we know, like Restaurant 365, from the financial and reporting perspective. But then does that tie into what? What other inputs can that correlate information from? So that's how we think about it.
I love it. And I'm so appreciative that you highlighted the criticality of technologists working closely with the operators. I can't emphasize enough, if you don't get that right, the friction will overwhelm and the efficiency and the utilization will be perfunctory. I tell you, perfunctory. But listen, Schatz and I can talk all day, and sometimes Schatz accuses me of
perfunctory, Jimmy.
That's for another day, another time. I was going to go back to a plethora. I was going to ask you to spell plethora. Do you have a plethora of sweaters, El Jefe? Anyway.
Three amigos, right, Jimbo?
There you go. Three amigos, baby. Listen, Schatz and I
am not as educated as you.
We love to have guests, our friends, come on and talk shop. But we learned along the way that sometimes our friends and guests have questions for us. So let's do a little talking back. Troy, we'll give you the mic. Nothing's off the table. And as I say, the microphone is yours. Some things are off the table, but not much.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, in Louisville, as I've just learned to say it correctly.
I said it wrong last night. You were yelling at me.
Jimmy, my first question is, what's the bourbon I'm ordering at the bar this afternoon? That's what I need to know.
Good question.
Oh, boy. Wow. I'll give you my answer right now, but I got to tell you, I'm going to be loyal to.
He wants to know what to order today.
I said I'd give you the answer, but I know I'm going to be a little bit controversial. But you know what? Maybe not, because I'm sitting in New York. My favorite bourbon is Kings County. My favorite bourbon is a New York distillery.
Oh,
and I'm sorry to say, David Nichols. No, you're not going to get that in Louisville. In fact, if you order it,
right,
you may end up getting
Kentucky one, Jimmy.
We were drinking
night,
Weller. Weller is great.
Weller
is great. Okay. We were drinking Michter's last night, and I was drinking. What was the other one? It was Weller, Michter's. Oh, I got to tell you, we were drinking a Bullet, but not like a normal. It was like some single barrel black label Bullet,
nice.
Nice. Shachi, the more brand names you're dropping, the more I understand why your eyes are so red. I understand. I understand.
He's wearing a hat, so you can't.
I got it, Jimmy. I'm telling you, they drink it here like it's
Kentucky water. Like it's Kentucky water.
Yeah, it really is insane. But let's jump into the spices right, Jimbo. We had a lot of fun at FS Tech doing a riff on the prices right. Let's do Spices Right Fast Casual Executive Summit Edition, okay?
I like it.
Ready, Troy?
I'm ready.
Everyone knows how to play the prices right. I'm going to give you an item. You're going to bid on what you think it costs. You can't go over. Prices Right rules are in effect. And we're going to tie it into some restaurants because we got, Jimmy was a bartender and Lord knows he likes to eat out. Troy, you are a restaurant guy. You were building restaurants after you were a professional golfer for a couple years, which is great. All right, so let's go. Here we go. We are going to talk about Arby's. Who doesn't like Arby's? Jimmy, what's the tagline for Arby's?
We've got the meats.
We got the meats, or what is it?
Yeah, I think we got the meats.
We got the meats. I like it, Jimbo. Yeah, what am I questioning? Jimmy knows. Okay.
Wait, did I win this Price is Right? Was that it? Did I win?
No, that's it. Can you tell me? Okay, we're going to classic cheesesteak combo meal. The classic cheesesteak combo meal. This is New York City now, Troy. We're not talking Arizona. Okay. Classic cheeseburger, crinkle fries, and a Dr. Pepper. In New York City, Jimmy, what is your best guess, Troy, in dollars and cents on that Arby's combo meal?
Can't go over.
Can't go over.
$15.35.
$15.35. Jimmy, would you care to make your guess?
I if that's the price in New York City, I got to tell you, no wonder people are. I don't know. No, I'm just saying if he's right, no wonder people are leaving New York City going to Florida. Right. I'm going under. I'm going to go $11.95.
What does that sound mean, producer? Oh, everyone has gone over.
Oh,
everyone has gone over.
Jeez.
Oh, man. I could have just gone with a penny. What's the price?
All right, Troy, you went over. $15.53 is not the right answer. Jimmy, you were $11.99?
Yes.
Something like that. No, both over. Give me another guess, Troy.
Wow, I can't believe it's under $11. Okay,
That is a bargain.
$10.50. I mean, is there any meat on that sandwich?
I'm going under. I'm going $7.95.
Jimmy went really low. Well, the actual correct answer, Troy, you are the winner. It's $11.59. Troy,
Wait a minute, I was 40 cents off and you're shaming me? I was 40 cents off of my guest and you were shaming me?
Anyway, so Troy's the big winner. What does Troy win? Troy gets an all-expense
sandwich
trip for the family to Arby's in Hawaii. Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Unbelievable. And a little fun fact, Rob Lynch, the CEO of Papa John's, the current CEO of Papa John's, he came up with, we got the meats when he was the CMO at Arby's. Fun little fact that our producer just dropped in. So thank you to Julie for giving us that little nugget of information. Jimbo?
I think yes, I'm going to go to the crystal ball moment, but not without mentioning that while I was over, you made me feel like you shamed me. I was 40 cents off. I was pretty good. All right, listen, crystal ball moment.
Right is brutal, Jimmy.
Yes.
When you go over,
it's brutal.
You get shamed.
Cheap in New York. Come to California, man.
Yes.
Jack in the Box fried chicken sandwich combo, $17.50.
Well, not for nothing.
Yes.
Yes, $11 a gallon.
Yeah.
All right, our crystal ball moment, our opportunity to ask you, Troy, to put on your Kresker Miss Cleo hat, predicting the future. When we come back to fast casual, just 2 years from now, how do you see restaurants and dining in relationship to hospitality and tech? 2 years is not a long time, but things are moving at a blazing speed. So what do you think we're going to be talking about 2 years from now?
Yeah, I think AI is going to be even bigger in the restaurant business. Traditionally, we're pretty slow to take up technology, but I think the natural integration of AI tools within the existing tech stack. So we're seeing existing tech partners build AI tools into the system. So I think data for the average restaurateur is going to be far more accessible. I've seen things from groups like ClearCogs with ChatGPT built in where you can ask a question and you can get instant insights into your inventory and prep necessities as far as volumes and trends and future forecasting. I think we're going to see that across other partners. I know Restaurant 365 is working on that. So when there's a aggregation of a ton of data inside of a tool and you can use an AI, partnership within that, some simple, useful feature of AI where you can ask a question and get that complicated, unique answer to you as the restaurateur. How many blueberries
do I want for dinner tonight?
Well,
and it
there's
knows,
that.
right?
There's
I love that. Jimmy,
Yeah.
I love that. I love that.
You love that.
Hey,
you love that.
Fun fact.
They should know.
If you're in Los Angeles, California, and you ask Snapchat's AI engine, it has an AI engine in Snapchat now. If you're in Los Angeles and you ask Snapchat, what should I have for lunch or dinner? Mm-hmm. It will recommend pepper lunch.
Really?
So how does your restaurant stack up in Snapchat? Does Snapchat's AI engine recommend your restaurant out there, restaurateurs?
No.
Figure
smart.
out how that.
Wicked smart.
What is Troy? Troy must have hacked into ChatGPT.
Nope, it's a natural. It was a natural occurrence. I'll tell you what.
I don't know, Troy. We're gonna have to check into that. I'm gonna have my tech team and engineers dig into this because I think something's wrong. All right, listen. I love it. I agree with you. AI. I just like saying AI, and I got to tell you, I am changing my name. I'm going to change my name to AI because I think it's cool. What do you think, Jimbo?
I'm changing mine to restaurant near me. Anyway, Chatsy, let's play
it. Julia, can you
go on GoDaddy right now?
Yeah,
and get
exactly.
That, please. Honestly,
Chatsy.ai.
All right, listen, Troy, you got like 10 restaurants you got to build in less than 2 years, so you got to run. But before you go, branded quickfire, Kentucky edition. Are you ready, sir?
I'm ready.
5 lightning round questions. Don't think too fast, okay? I mean, don't think too long. Think fast. All right, five lightning round. 5 questions. Here we go. Favorite Kentucky bourbon? Is it Jim Beam? Is it Woodford? Angel's Envy or Knob Creek? Or something else?
No, I'll go with that. I'll go with Woodford.
Like it.
Classic.
Favorite Kentucky-born celebrity? Is it Mr. George Handsome Clooney? Johnny, also good-looking Depp? Diane Sawyer? Ashley Judd?
Oh, Ashley Judd, all the way.
Ashley Judd. Do you visit Kentucky for the Derby or the Bourbon Trail?
You can do both. So come to the Derby and drink the bourbon on the field.
Come to the Derby
Great
and
answer.
drink the bourbon. I like that. True or false? The Hatfields and McCoys were all from Kentucky.
False.
That is correct. The Hatfields come from West Virginia, while the McCoys come from Kentucky. Jimmy didn't know that.
I did not know that.
The Flintstones, when it was the Hat Rocks and the Hat Rocks and like the McBoulders or something.
Fun fact,
Yeah.
through marriage, I'm actually distantly related to the Hatfields. There's a Hatfield in our family.
Yeah, I sensed Hatfield in our midst, Jimmy. I knew it.
You're not like Hatfields and McCoys. You're a Hatfield. I'm a McCoy.
All right, here's where things get a little tricky. The big Jimmy Shatsy challenge. If you were to challenge Jimmy or I to a horse race at the famous Churchill Downs, Jimmy's on a horse, I'm on a horse, you're on a horse. Who do you have better odds of beating on the horse race? Jimmy's a jockey.
Jimmy and I together weigh 4 times your weight, so you win because you're just lighter.
I agree. I
don't know if
jockey.
You're still on the horse and you're still facing forward when you cross the finish line.
I always wanted to
you always wanted to be an architect, Shatsy, an architect.
I always wanted to be an architect. All right, listen, Troy, this was amazing. I know you got a lot of work to do. We really appreciate you spending some time with us on the Hangout. This was great fun. We're going to have a great day today at Louisville. And Jimmy, we are all going to raise our glasses with some Woodford and toast you later.
I appreciate that. Troy, thank you so much for being on the podcast with us, my friend. We appreciate you.
Jimmy Shatsy, always great. Thanks for having me, guys.
Touch Bistro is an all-in-one POS and restaurant management system that makes running a restaurant super, super easy, providing the most essential front of house, back of house, and guest engagement solutions on one powerful platform. Touch Bistro helps restaurateurs streamline and simplify their operations, allowing them to spend less time manually connecting the dots and more time connecting with guests and growing their business. Built to meet the unique needs of the restaurant industry, Touch Bistro is fast, reliable, and easy to use, and has all of the features restaurateurs need to increase sales and deliver a great guest experience. Save both time and money with Touch Bistro. To find out more about Touch Bistro and how incredible a point-of-sale solution this is, go to touchbistro.com. That's touchbistro.com and learn more. Or if you would like, Shatsy, the restaurant guy, will connect you directly to the CEO of Touch Bistro. You email me at podcast@brandonstrategic.com, and Shatsy will make a direct connection to the CEO so you get the hand-holding you need to make the best point-of-sale decision you've ever made. That's touchbistro.com.
I got to tell you, Jimmy Troy is doing some crazy stuff. Did you know how many restaurants they had?
I had no idea. Making things happen. I got to tell you, there's going to be a lot of pepper lunches coming into the States. I can't wait.
I was talking to him last week, and I mean, we had a good laugh because he's like, I got about $1.5 billion in funding. I think I'm okay.
Not going to be raising money for Troy. I got you. I hear what you're saying.
We got a lot to get to at the Fast Casual Summit here in Louisville, Kentucky. Drinking a lot of, what are we calling it? What is this? What is it called?
Kentucky water. We call it Kentucky water.
Drinking a lot of Kentucky water. We got a great guest here, Elisia Flores, CEO of L&L Hawaiian Barbecue. And I got to tell you, we are loving this because we're going to learn a lot about L&L Hawaiian Barbecue. Elisia, thanks so much for joining us. Before we dig in, we'd like to find out how our guests came to their current position. And despite this being a family business, you have a full circle story. Back in June 2003, you worked as a marketing intern at L&L Hawaiian Barbecue. 20 years ago. Is my math correct on that, Jimmy?
Shatsy, I'm shocked. You got that correct.
20 years ago, right?
Yes,
Jimmy?
20 years.
You graduated from the intern status you held, various roles in finance at NBC Universal, GE Energy, before heading back to L&L, where you are now the CEO. Tell us this story. It's amazing. And then we got to dive into about L&L.
Yeah, no,
yes,
aloha.
Yes.
Thank you so much for having me.
Aloha.
And I appreciate the research you've done. No, so, I ended up at L&L, quite frankly, because I was born into it. My dad, Eddie Flores, and his business partner, Johnson Cam, are the co-founders. And they, the company was created before I was born, so I consider it a sibling of mine. But like you said, my first job actually was as a cashier at one of our restaurants.
How old?
I was maybe 15 years old.
Did they pay you?
They paid me.
All right, just checking because our lawyers are here listening.
They probably
Just to make
underpaid
sure.
me.
Okay, all right.
But
well,
to be quite frank,
I think the statute of limitations is passed.
I was pretty terrible, so maybe they shouldn't have paid me. Great experience working in the restaurant. But, as a family business, I didn't want to work for my dad my entire life. So I went to school on the mainland in California. I worked for GE for many years, like you said, studying finance. And I really enjoyed it. And it wasn't until I was away maybe 15 years that I decided to come back home. I came back to L&L as a CFO, and then about 5 years ago, became the CEO, taking the role for my dad.
I love it.
I think this is awesome. So if I could take some liberties here, we like to say, Elisia, that while, you could talk about yourself, but it's much more fun, and we get to do a lot more bragging and boasting than anyone could ever do about themselves. So I'm going to take a moment to acknowledge a few bragging rights for L&L. And I have to say, our producers, and we did do a little bit of work, and it's super impressive to hear about the success of L&L. First of all, L&L has over 200 restaurants with locations worldwide. Boom. L&L is the most successful restaurant franchise to expand outside of Hawaii. Chatsy?
Boom.
Boom. Okay. Rankings from Entrepreneur Magazine's America's Top Global Franchises. Restaurant and Institution Magazine's America's Top 400 Restaurant Chains. Restaurants, Nation's News Top 50 Regional Powerhouse Chains. And Entrepreneurs Magazine Franchise 500. Bam, bam, boom, boom. What's the secret of your success? Because I got to tell you, that is an arsenal of things to be proud of.
Number one Asian franchise organization by Entrepreneur Magazine.
Jimmy, get your facts.
Boom. Look at that. Boom. I love it. I would have been happy with what you had, making it better.
How could I hire you guys as my hype people? This is awesome.
Yeah, I love it.
No, we are.
Call me.
When my dad and his business partner started the company, I don't think either of them expected to get to, we're at 225 now. They just, my dad, quite frankly, bought the restaurant for his mom. They were all immigrants to the United States, and they were just looking to make a better life for themselves. And the product, like so many restaurants, just was something that customers really craved. They had a tremendous work ethic, as did many of the people who joined the company in the restaurants. And they just expanded and expanded and then started franchising. And we grew and grew. And somehow we're at 225 now. And we've just been really lucky. But I think the core of that is, the foundation our founders built of really having a family-based organization amongst ourselves in the office and our franchisees, and also just having a really delicious, craveable food product that customers keep demanding.
I love it. I really do. And I got to tell you, when I think about different cultures around the world and foods and music and things like that, Hawaii really just comes to mind. I got to tell you, I love when I'm out on the beach in the summer, during the day, I play Hawaiian music. I just love it. It's soothing. It's happy. It's relaxing. It's just, I love it. So, you guys are a brand born out of Hawaii. Like you said, it's one of the, it's the biggest brand to come out of Hawaii. How do you keep the culture? How do you keep the whole feeling of Hawaii, which is so important to your brand? How do you keep that going as you expand outside of Hawaii?
Yeah. So, we are founded and headquartered in Hawaii, and we always will be based there. All of our franchisees, they're required to come out to Hawaii for their training. So whether they had ties with Hawaii before or not, they at least come over for, a couple of weeks to experience the culture, experience the food.
Go to at least a luau, right? At least a luau.
Exactly. And so we really, think that's an important part of our brand, because we try to be authentic. We're the original Hawaiian Barbecue. We're authentic to Hawaii. That's really, when you come to L&L, we want you to have the vibe of being on the beach, listening to that Hawaiian music, having a great time. So we want to make sure our franchisees understand that and can replicate that in their stores.
I love it. That was amazing. That's really, I love that about the culture in Hawaii. It's just so important.
No, thank you, Elisia. That was awesome. Listen, Chats and I love bringing guests on, bringing friends on, and chatting away. We're not bashful about that, but we learned that sometimes our guests would like to ask questions of us. So let's kick off talking back. We welcome our guests to ask us any questions.
Demand you ask us a question.
We like to say nothing's off the table. Elisia, the microphone is yours.
Oh man, on the spot. Well, it's been really fun being here at the conference, and I love learning about what's going on in the industry. But you guys talk to a bunch of great folks, really smart restaurant people. What are you guys thinking about 2024? You think it's going to be a good year for restaurants? You think technology, labor, all those things are still going to be hot topics?
It's a great question. I got to tell you, I have a theory about this, okay? And Jimmy, you know that I said this before anyone was reporting on this. You know it because I said this to you a couple weeks ago. I said, everyone in America is taking Ozempic and no one's going to want to eat anymore. And I said, no one's going to want to eat because everyone's on Ozempic. And then there was an article, I sent it to Jimmy a couple days ago. Walmart reported that they are seeing a drop in sales of like snack foods and things like that.
Gosh.
And they tracked it. They check people that they, anonymously, but they know how many people of the customers are taking Ozempic, and they said they're tracking like their sales are like down 5% since Ozempic. So 2024 is going to be very challenging if everyone keeps taking Ozempic. No one's going to want to eat anymore. Boom! I said it, Jimmy. You go now.
I actually, Shatsy, your answer, you were very early on this. You actually said, is this going to impact certain food sales? Otherwise, I will say, as a financial person, maybe we have to go long or longer big pharma and short, certain types of snack foods or restaurant companies. But to Alicia's question, I'll say the following. I think we've seen an explosion of front of house software and SaaS and B2B SaaS specifically. And I think as we're speaking to our subject matter experts, which are really the owners and operators of these hospitality venues, a lot of them are talking about the back of house now. And I think they're prepared to make the commitment. So I think we're going to see a lot of focus on innovation, which we define as where hardware meets software. I think we're going to see more of a connected kitchen. I think we're going to see more focus on the rebuilding of kitchens and the right sizing, given what's going on in off-prem. But I think what that's going to be the big thing is the automation component and a lot of focus on the larger CapEx, because it's a bigger spend back of house versus the software that dominates front of house. But I think that's going to dominate, other than Chatsy's Ozempic and Wegovy or whatever. Well, I don't know what it is. But away from that, I think we're going to see a lot of focus on the innovation side and the IoT of kitchen equipment.
But I think short term, Jimmy, Ozempic, I'm telling you, Jimmy, you saw it. But Pepsi had rocket earnings. I just sent you. Pepsi was killing it. So maybe they're the Ozempic takers are still loving the Pepsi.
Love the salty and savory. And savory.
Loving it. All right, listen, Jimmy, Alicia's got to go. She's got to run and open up like another 200 locations in Texas and Colorado. However, before she goes, it wouldn't be a podcast without the Spice is Right. So let's jump into it. Everyone knows the Price is Right. So we are going to take a little Price is Right. Spice is Right. Louisville edition. Are you ready?
Sure.
Price is Right rules are in effect. You cannot go over. I'm going to ask you the price of a certain item from Panera Bread. We all know Panera Bread. Jimmy, you love the soup at Panera Bread.
Bread bowl.
Okay, here we go. Grilled cheese and tomato soup combo meal at Panera Bread in New York City. How much is a grilled cheese tomato soup combo Panera Bread in New York City in dollars and cents? What is your guess?
So first of all, we don't have Panera in Hawaii, so I'm like going in the dark.
Oh, so you're going completely.
Truly flying blind.
New York City. I'm going to guess.
Cheese. Jimmy, you have a picture of the grilled cheese?
I don't have a picture of grilled cheese, but Chats, I'm already to guess.
I'm
already ready to guess.
835, Jimmy. 835 is Alicia's guess.
I think it's a solid guess. I'm going 940.
What is that? Both people over.
What?
Over?
I got to tell you, Jimmy, it's not as expensive in New York City as you think. Alicia,
man, I'm going down to get the wrong George. I got to go hit Panera.
Both showcase.
Okay,
both showcase.
645.
All right,
645, Jimbo.
All right, I'm going 705.
We have a winner. Ding, 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 Mr. Jimmy Frischling, the finance guy. $7.99. And he is the big showcase winner. And he wins a lifetime supply of grilled cheese and tomato soup, courtesy of our friends from Panera Bread. Jimmy, take it away.
Alicia, let me just tell you that I know the Price of Right. If you go over, you lose. And that is true. But in my book, especially without a Panera in Hawaii, you were the closest to the pin on the first guess. So I want to respect. You were much closer.
Well, I don't know. I got to be honest. Did this $7.99 include tax? I don't think so. If we include tax, I would have to say you probably won.
Right?
Yeah. So we're going to give you consolation. You get all the grilled cheese and tomato soup you can eat for half a year. Half
I'll
a
take
year.
it.
Your supply, you get a half a year
They'll
supply.
send it over to Hawaii
We
for
send
me.
it over to Hawaii, Federal Express. Okay.
Shatsy, we got to go do some due diligence on L&L. I think that my one realization of this podcast with this new bonding and friendship we now have with Elisia is we got to go do some due dilly on L&L.
Yeah, like you really need to. You need to give me an excuse to go to Hawaii, Jimmy.
Yes.
You know,
We need to get over to
I
Hawaii.
eloped in Hawaii, so I have a special affinity. Kona. I eloped on the island. Kona is the island of Kona.
Kona is the city.
The city
on the Hawaii island.
In the Hawaii, yeah. You see how much I know about it, Jimmy? But I did play golf at great golf courses there. That's one place that's got some good golf courses.
You guys need to do a live recording in Hawaii. I think that's
yes.
Julie, our producer, has already said she is signing up. We are going to do our next podcast at L&L Barbecue in
All
Hawaii.
right. Bring my grilled cheeses over.
All right. Before we go, we're going to do Branded Quickfire Kentucky edition. Are you ready? I'm going to ask you 5 lightning round questions.
Yes.
First thing that comes to your mind. Okay. Mint julep or bourbon on the rocks?
Mint julep.
Favorite Kentucky-born celebrity? Is it Mr. George Clooney, Johnny Depp, Diane Sawyer, or Ashley Judd?
George Clooney.
I agree with that, George Clooney. I think he owned a pig one day, Jimmy. I think he had a pig. I don't know what that means, but he had a pig. Do you visit Kentucky for the Derby or the bourbon?
Derby.
Jimmy goes both. Jimmy's like, I go first bourbon.
I go for the Derby. I stay for the bourbon.
True or false? Post-it notes were invented and produced right here in Kentucky. Post-it notes.
True.
It is true. How did you know that? You like such conviction.
I don't know. It's so random.
Because if it was false, that'd be so random. It'd be like
True. It was like true. I mean, who would ever do it? I feel like I thought it was like 3M in Minnesota did a post-it note. I gotta fact check Julie on that one there. I don't know. All right, here we
Julie,
go.
I trust.
Challenge Jimmy Rye. Jimmy, stand up. If you were to challenge Jimmy Rye, okay, we're going to Churchill Downs, the 3 of us, okay?
Yeah.
We're all going to get on horses. We are going to have a horse race. Who are you beating in that horse race? Jimmy or I?
Both of you.
Why do you beat both of us? You're a good jockey?
I'm not, but I'm feeling very confident today.
she's competitive.
Elisa's like,
she's competitive.
I lost a Panera question.
You're
but
idiots.
I'm
I'll beat
coming
you
off
both.
of the,
I like it. Like she was like Elisia was conviction about the post-it notes, conviction about beating us both.
Yes,
both.
she didn't stutter. She didn't pause. It's like, you challenge Jimmy and I'll beat you both.
I don't know. I was thinking like maybe she's better.
I didn't know it was an either or question. Sorry.
Yes,
yeah, well, I
beat
gotta
you
tell you,
both.
I am psyched. All right, Julie is our producer. Already said she's booked her flights. So she has booked her flight to Hawaii, and you don't have to give us a reason to go. I love it. We are super excited to get to know you. Thank you so much for doing our podcast. And by the way, Jimmy, I don't know if you saw this, but this is the only guest who's ever brought us treats from Hawaii. I mean, look at this. These are macadamia nuts covered in chocolate and even maybe caramel. I don't know if there's caramel in there, but it's chocolate covered macadamia nuts. Jimmy,
You know what that screams? Good person and hospitality. Hospitality.
Hospitality. I love this. Elisia, thank you so much for doing the podcast. And I'm going to give
Elisia,
Elisia
thank you.
a branded delicious hat.
Thank you all for
having me. Thank you so much.
Elisia, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Touch Bistro is an all-in-one POS and restaurant management system. That's a all-in-one point-of-sale restaurant management system that makes running a restaurant easier, super easy, providing the most essential front-of-house and back-of-house and guest engagement solutions, all on one powerful platform. Touch Bistro helps restaurateurs streamline and simplify their operations, allowing them to spend less time manually connecting the dots and more time connecting with guests and growing their business. That's right, more time connecting with guests and growing their business. Built to meet the unique needs of the restaurant industry. Touch Bistro, it's fast, it's reliable, and it's easy to use. And it has all the features restaurateurs need to increase sales and deliver a great guest experience. And listen to this, it saves you both time and money. You want to learn more about Touch Bistro? You want to learn more? Visit touchbistro.com. That's touchbistro.com. And you will learn everything you need about one of the greatest point-of-sale systems ever to come to the market. I encourage everyone to go visit touchbistro.com. And if you want to email us, just email us at podcast@brandonstrategic.com, and we'll make a direct introduction to the folks at Touch Bistro. We will go right to the CEO. Samir's the CEO. We will connect you to the CEO. That's the kind of service that Touch Bistro has. So I implore everybody, check out Touch Bistro, everybody.